What's going on, people? Welcome to the match preview. Our focus now is on the Carabao Cup. Quick turnaround. And I'm joined by two people who would actually be going to the game, Nick and Patrick, to discuss that game. And also, we had a little debate. We're going to be talking about the defense and more. As always, make sure to get involved in the comment section down below. And if you do enjoy the content, hit the like button and subscribe to not miss out on future Palace videos. Gents, it's a quick turnaround, as I've mentioned. How are we feeling in the afternoon, right after the game? Are we calm? Are we looking forward to the QPR game?
To be honest,
Nick?
Sorry, I'm a bit hungover. It was nice. I did one of those rare games yesterday where I didn't drive. I thought I really fancy having a drink, but we didn't get into the ground till 20 to 3 because the train station we go to was shut. But we didn't lose is my main takeaway. And my other takeaway is how the fuck are we not beating Leicester at home? But then on reflection this morning, it's two new debutants. We had the big discussion in the week, didn't we, about who was going to play in defence, and the kind of story wrote itself with the Chelsea guy getting himself injured in training, which is Chalobah's just typical Palace. But I was pleased with the debutants. I thought Nketiah looks, English Eddie is much, much better than French Eddie, was my takeaway from that. We created lots of chances on other days. We could have scored, and it was mistakes, not set up, that caused the problem, I think. And Glasner tweaked it at half time. I was standing next to you. I was just walking down to my seat, wasn't I, to start the second half, D, and they scored, didn't they?
27 seconds, I believe. And I said, literally, we need to have a strong start. And 27 seconds into the second half, which is literally the opposite of what was.
Jinx.
Yeah, is that, well, talking about jinx, Patrick, you must know because you come to Palace.
Yeah.
I mean, what on earth is going on? And you're going to the QPR game. We better not get knocked out by QPR, otherwise we might have
remind me of that, jinx.
Have border control. Because it's not looking good for you. It is not looking good for you coming to Palace. But what do you make of your first game back at Selhurst Park? I know you watch a Glasgow side in pre-season, but surely you was expecting a win.
A lot going on there with that conversation about me being a jinx. So let me go address that firstly. Because I'm trying to remember the last time I saw Palace win in person.
Well, it was before, ever since the FA Cup defeat, as you've said to me yesterday. You haven't seen Palace win.
It's been rough.
So...
Yeah. It was the Watford semi-final at Wembley. That's bad because I came after that with my son and we lost to Chelsea and we drew with like Bournemouth or Swansea, and then obviously last year it was West Ham, Bournemouth, and Liverpool. And now there's a lot of draws though. There's some points in it. There's no wins.
we must win tomorrow. Then we can't do no draws. If we go to a draw, then it'll be penalty shootout. But there has to be a winner. I mean, there will be a winner and loser tomorrow. But that better change then.
Yeah. So my perspective, we had a discussion pre-show, and I just want to say that it's interesting. My perspective is very unique. Obviously, right now I'm in South London. I'm in Croydon, so I'm closer to you guys I've ever been before doing a preview show. But I find that being at the match, people tend to. Perspectives are different than when you watch games on TV. TV, you see different things, you think differently. When you're in the stadium, you're really hyped up. So how do I feel about the game yesterday? I'm fine with the draw. Yes, of course, I would. Like I said during the post-match, I'd rather we won the game. But I love the fact we came back from 2-0. The fight was really good. The change of formations by Glasgow was great. That shows some character. But as far as the QPR game, I'm looking forward to it because I think we can win. I know they're on the championship side, and they can definitely give us problems. They're playing at home. As far as I know, Nick, they didn't really have a big allocation as far as selling home crowds. I don't think the crowd's going to be a factor. So I think we have a good chance. I'm looking forward to the game. But you're right. We can't draw it to one. We have to win. So hopefully we will.
Well, yeah, I was looking at QPR forum, and they're underwhelmed by the number of tickets sold, which is a surprise. My QPR mate, Jolly Jenkins, is umming and ahhing about whether he's going to go. But I think it's because he's in Birmingham on Tuesday. But and he wants to travel to Barrow for the game to be called off.
But talking about the game now, let's get into it. And there's quite a bit to talk about. But in terms of like with a cup game, this so early on, there isn't that much to go into. But I feel like looking at the Leicester game and talking about this game, the defense has been a problem. Funny enough, the only clean sheet we kept was in this competition against Norwich. But what's up with that defense? Glasner's post-match comments have indicated that he believes that, Gahey, for example, hasn't trained enough for Palace because of his injury at the end of last season. So he only played a game, and he even said that he trained more with England than Palace.
Really?
What was that?
Really? That's surprising, isn't it? But yeah, thinking about it, you're not wrong.
Yeah. So he's saying that could be a factor. Of course, Lacroix, it was his first game. But we scored 2 goals, but we were 2-0 down against Leicester in a game where I was expecting at least, a clean sheet against the Leicester side who are limited in attack. But we saw it. We crumbled once again. And Glasner did talk about it's not the system, it's the individual players. So, Nick, what's wrong with this defense? Is it just lack of, game time and training with the manager? And we're seeing maybe the likes of Gahey being exposed in this system at early days, still relatively, I guess, for the new manager, or is it more than that?
You've got to account for the amount of players that have been away on international break. You've got to account for the distances some of them have travelled. Gahey took part in both the England games, didn't he? Did he come on as sub in the second England game over the break? Yeah. You've got Lacroix, whose first game in the Premier League. I think, considering the adjustment that between the Bundesliga from Wolfsburg and Palace is going to be quite different. So I thought he did all right. It was just the individual errors. I mean, Wharton looked a bit off the pace to start off with, and he's always passing the ball forward. But Leicester didn't actually look that dangerous. It was just the mistakes and the switching off.
Well, it's costly mistakes, though, Nick. It's mistakes that we need to get rid of.
We can take solace, though, in the fact that Glasner doesn't really win the first 4 games. It's, if you look back on his record, and it's still managed to get his team into Europe. So, maybe I'm hoping a bit too much there.
No, you are right.
But we missed it. Look, we were 2-0 down and we got the game back and we very nearly could have won it. So the fact is we've not got heads down. The fact is we are going at teams when it's not like we're sitting back. We're trying to do stuff. Controversially, I think, although he nearly scored, I think he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders and I think that's affecting him a little bit. A couple of times I thought he could have made passes when he didn't. A couple of times I thought he made duff passes when he could have had a little run. So yeah, whether being the superstar of the team, the so-called superstar, is weighing on his shoulders, I don't know.
Well, he'll be returning back to QPR, but I just want to stick with the defense right now. Patrick, we've had a little debate beforehand. I'll be honest. Look, it's not to say, it's anything major, but so far the start of the season, Gahey has had a slow start to the season. Brentford game, he was in there for mistake. The Chelsea game, he pushed up the pitch, and then the defense was, outnumbered, and we ended up conceding a goal. And yesterday, he wasn't in his normal form, and he said that as well in his own press conference when he was asked a question post match, and he did say, I haven't played at the levels that I should be playing at. So what do you think is up with Gahey?
You mentioned already, it's obviously not training with the team, but again, do you have to look at who he's playing with? The first match of the season, Brentford, it was him, Richards, and Anderson. Second game, it was him, Richards, and Rehard. The game yesterday, it was him, Lacroix, and Klein. The game before that, it was Klein, Richards, and Gahey. My point is, he's had a different pairing each time. In addition to that, he's also playing in a back 3 for the first time in his career, as opposed to a back 4 a back 3 as opposed to a back 2. So instead of having 2 center backs, we had last year, Anderson all the time, he's got now 2 players on his outside. I'm not worried about it. It's going to take an adjustment period. I mean, people talk about Glasner last year. Yes, he beat Burnley, but after Burnley, how long did it take us to really get on a roll? 4 or 5 games after that, right? Before we go on the roll. We've got to give the time for the players to get used to a new system. The system's new for everyone, okay? And I'm going back to yesterday even, or time of recording yesterday, Saturday's game. The back three never played together before. All right, the center pairing, So obviously Lacroix, Gahey, and Klein. There's two center midfielders, Wharton and Decoy, never started together before. Played together, never started together. The three forwards, Eze and Ketty Mateta, never played together before. So we're talking about a bunch of players that haven't played together as a team. When we play the same 11 for 3-4 games and we're struggling, I'll get concerned. Maybe more than that. But I can't get concerned now. It's way too early in the season to be worried about it. But I want to win games, D and Nick. Absolutely. I want to have beaten Brentford and Chelsea. But I'm not worried about it because I really trust the manager. And I heard him talk post-match. He even said that the basement is finished. He said, but we've got to build the rest of the rest of the building. I think we're going to be fine. And again, the way he's built the squad, he's cut down to 24 players, allowed room for players like Uma to get some chances possibly in the future, and Mofi Jemede, and maybe another couple of few players in there. I like that. You're going to let some youth players play. And yesterday he went very attacking with Saar. So I like what he's trying to do. If I didn't like what he's going to do, I would say it. But I think that you have to trust in Glass and you have to give this time. We basically we built the entire squad. Let's be patient. I know it's hard to be patient as a Palace supporter because we've had some tough times, and see what happens.
But no one's getting onto
No,
Glasner
not you
here.
guys. Not you guys.
Yeah.
Not you guys. I'm just saying just the team.
I think a lot of people, sensible people, can see that it is the mistakes individually. It's not like we're getting outrun in the system. It's just individual mistakes. I mean, the second goal yesterday was a joke. It was a joke. Honestly, what was the defending there? It came off Klein's, I think, leg, and then it landed on the opposition player. Just lovely. It's similar to what we saw against West Ham as well, but it was just a bit all over the place. And even the clearance from Lacroix, that's how we started off. But talking about the defense in this game, Nick, do we now stick with a same defense that we saw against Leicester? Would you make any changes? Because the defense has been the major concern for me. The attack and the midfield, as Patrick said, it's still early days, but we still ended up scoring 2 goals yesterday. I think they'll gel. But the defense, that's the area that needs to get fixed. Is it a case of running them with another game out there against QPR?
The only thing I could possibly see is with Chalobah injured, is Richards coming in for Klein. As good as Klein is, he's getting on a bit. Can I just ask about defence? I've seen quite a few people on social media blaming the Leicester 2 goals on the fact we sold Anderson and he was the glue that held it together. I mean, that's nonsense, isn't it, Patrick? If we go back to what you just said, that it's going to take a bit of time to gel.
Yeah, I'm not going to address that. I'm not going to. I know D was a big Anderson fan, so I'm not going to address that. But what I will say again is that I agree with you on that, Nick, because Richards back in the lineup does a couple of things. One, it puts Richards on the left, Gahey central, and puts a quad on the right, where he's more. Sorry, that was the flight attacking me. I apologize for that. The quad is more comfortable on the right. He played on the left yesterday. And again, I'll say it again. I said it, I think, during the post game. I love Nathaniel Klein, but Nathaniel Klein is not a centre back. He doesn't like the football at his feet. He loves to tackle and kick the ball forward, but he doesn't like to get the ball under control, look for passes. He's not comfortable with the ball at his feet. He's been a right back his whole life. He's not used to it.
Yeah.
And he played in a pinch, yes. But people who said, "Oh, play Klein over so and so," they've missed the bag. If you put him there, he'll be exposed. So for me, like you just said, you got Richards, Lacroix, and Gahey going forward. Then again, you got Chalobah. If one of those aren't playing up to speed, and then you've also got Riyad coming back, and hopefully in 7 to 8 weeks. So my point is, once we have a settled back three with Mitchell and Munoz, I think the defense is going to be fine. I think it's just the fact we have not settled down yet. I think that's the main key. And once that happens, I think we're going to be just fine.
And when we look at the game, yesterday's game against Leicester, you can see that even Munoz wasn't 100%. He got subbed off. He couldn't even play the 9 minutes. So unfortunately, that's their part. But then again, there are no excuses for this game. We have to beat QPR. We have to. We can't stick with a draw. Go ahead, Nick.
What I like about yesterday, though, was we ended the game with only 2 defenders, with Glasner's not afraid to do that. Because when Saar came on, I thought, well, what was it? He came on for one of the wing back. Did he? No, who did he come? He came on for Munoz. And I thought, because we had the discussion about Saar being right wing back before, didn't we? Or right midfield, covering wing back. But I couldn't really see. He wasn't there at all, was he? He was just in the opposition half the whole game. 2 defenders at the end. That's madness, isn't it? But it's good.
And to add to that, Nick, I think I love the fact that, listen, D and I have had discussion, maybe you have too, but Saw is not a number 10. He's not. He's a right winger. But the fact that our manager knew that if he puts him at right back and he can push forward and create the second
Yeah.
goal with the penalty, it's brilliant. And I like the fact that now you've got a player that you can utilize. So my thing with Saw is that he's gonna struggle to play where Nketiah and Kamada have played, but he won't struggle for game time because this
Mm.
manager will put him in matches to change things up, change formation, impact games. So I love that fact about him. But again, to think that Saw is a number 10 is wrong. But we do have Kamada and obviously Nketiah to do that job, which is great.
But what I did notice yesterday, if that's what you're saying about Saab, when it was Nketiah, Eza, and Mateta, the front three, they were interchanging positions quite a lot. Quite a lot. I don't know.
And I think, as we mentioned, Sa as well. There's a few people saying that it might be worth starting Sa from here onwards. The question is, who do you start Sa ahead of? Maybe in the Premier League game we can have that discussion, but in this game, is it right, Nick, to see Sa start due to the impacts that he's had even in the Carabao Cup game against Norwich in the previous round?
Yeah, I think he should start starring for Eza to piss off all the QPR fans who've only gone to see him.
Nah, no, surely not.
I'm joking.
We can't do that. We have to go strong. We have to go strong.
Well, it'd have to be for Nketiah or Mateta, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's the question. And someone's actually said this point, Patrick. If you were to start Sa, you have to drop someone out of the team. Who would that be? Because it's easy to say, oh, I want this player to start, but who do you take out the side?
How about this? How about you change formation?
Well, I don't think Glasner too
keen on during the game.
I'll tell you why. Because you made the comment about Gahey. Maybe make Gahey more comfortable. Go back to a 4-4-2. Gahey, Lacroix. You drop Klein. So then you've got Munoz, Mitchell, Gahey, Lacroix. Go 4 midfielders, whether it's Wharton and let's say Hughes. Eze wide left, Saar wide right, and Nketiah and Mateta up front. I'm just saying as a experiment and something that you might want to try in a League Cup game. I'm not demeaning QPR. I'm just saying that you wouldn't want to do this next week against Man United, but maybe try that. You get Nketiah and Mateta on the field at the same time. Saw natural position wide right. It's just a thought. I don't know. And then who would you drop? The person would be Klein. So
well, you want to be doing that in training first rather than just going straight into a game doing it.
Yeah. Hold on, we've done that against Leicester in the second half when he changed all the plays. So we have done that. But the thing is, when Glasner has spoke about it after the game, what caught my attention was the fact that he said that it's not the system when we're conceding goals. He's looking at the position that the players are in, and he's not saying we're getting outrun 3-2. I don't know, 4-3, for example. There are numbers there, but it's just individual defending that we need to improve on. So based on what he said, even what we've done against Norwich, I don't really see us going 4-4-2 in this game. And I don't think we have to. Maybe this could be a good time to rest Mateta again, even though he scored 2 goals, and bring him off the bench and start Nketiah, Nick. And start Son.
Yeah, maybe chuck a couple of kids in that he wants to get involved. Who knows later on in the game. QPR, I'm not sure how they're gonna whether they'll turn out a strong team because Norwich only put out a second 11. I don't know how much truck they're going to be putting on this cup. So it's you don't want to put out a weakened team, and we do want our team to kind of gel a bit more. But we've got 3 games in a week, kind of thing, albeit at 5:30 on Saturday next weekend. But it's difficult, isn't it? Because you've got to keep players happy as well and getting game time.
Yeah. D, you're right there resting. I would say, yeah, but he coming off 2 goals against Norwich in the cup previously, 2 goals again yesterday. He doesn't want to get rested. He had his rest during the international break. I think Mateta's going to want to start. I have no problem if he rested him, but I don't think you want to rest him in this case. I'd actually want to see Nketiah and Mateta in that 3 again, see if they can dominate a championship side. You know what I mean? So
that's interesting, though. But then we got the squad depth. We got it in second half against Leicester. And in the cup competitions, you can still put Kamada in the side and Saar and say that that's a strong team. That's the thing. Like, you can rotate players and still say that it's a strong team.
I have an idea. I know I'm going to like it. How about Kamada in the midfield next to Wharton? It didn't work against Brentford.
Anyway, let's move on. I'm not even entertaining that. With all due respect, I'm not even entertaining that. After what I saw against West Ham, I'm not even entertaining
he can
that.
Play there.
I'd rather
stick
Wharton. No, I'd rather stick Walton and Hughes there in the midfield and not overcomplicate situations, because that West Ham second half traumatized me till this day when Kamada went in midfield, because physically he just wasn't up for it.
So I hope he does it now just to traumatize you more. I hope it happens then on Tuesday.
Whoa, Nick, are you witnessing this? And everyone that's watching this,
Yeah.
this is crazy. You just want to see me traumatized. Not the jinx that wants to see me traumatized. The only reason I won't be traumatized is if we win the game. And let's move on to score predictions, because with the starting 11, I guess we're all predicting a strong 11. Maybe not that many changes in defense. I know we spoke about the defense. I wouldn't be surprised if Chalobah comes back into the side, because I'm pretty sure Glasner did say that he's picked up an ankle injury, but he's out for this game, but he's might be back for the QPR game.
Before you go to prediction, are you aware of our last 4 results against QPR? How they've gone?
It doesn't matter.
They're not great. I want to give it to you before. I want you to go with the prediction.
I remember we faced him in the Prem as well. When who was it that scored that banger at Selhurst Park from like screamer from 30 yards out?
Maddie Phillips. Good job.
Yeah. Did we win that game or did we draw or lose?
That was our last win, and then we drew 0-0 that same season in the Prem, and then in the Championship they beat us 2-1 in 2010, 2011. The year, I guess that's the year after they took over, right? Parish took over the club, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
11-12, yeah.
So, and they're undefeated in their last 6 League and Cup games, QPR. So they're not to be taken, as far as current form, not to be taken lightly. So with that in mind, D, continue with your thoughts about production. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm not really looking at results from 2011, 2012, because football has changed, let alone Palace have massively changed.
I just said undefeated in the last 6 games, though. They're undefeated in the last 6 games this season.
But we beat them in our last game, right? At Selhurst Park. Well, we're not playing at Selhurst Park.
No, that was 6 years. I'm saying they're undefeated this season in the last 6 League and Cup.
Oh, yeah, they are.
It's better than looking at transfers from 1932, though, D. You've got to admit.
Oh, I mean,
you've done the best this team before.
And you've done that, exactly.
And you've done that, so shut up.
I'll give you that one. All right, let's talk about predictions. For me, it was a must for the game against Leicester that we won. This game is a must as well, and I do think with the team that Glasner would put out, which will be a strong team, he wants to take cup competition seriously. I think hopefully we do have enough to beat QPR, even though it's away from home. We saw a lot of positives. Even Nketiah was very close to scoring as well. So if Saul was to start, I mean, that means Nketiah will be coming off the bench, or Mateta or someone else. So, I mean, we've got good enough options to change the game. So I'm not really that worried about the starting 11 right now. I don't think that, I mean, there shouldn't be that many changes. It should be a strong team. And based on that, I'm looking at another clean sheet. We just need to fix the defense. For me, the defense is becoming a problem where we are scoring goals or a goal in the game, but we're still not winning because of that defense. I'm playing catch-up football. But I'm going to go for 2-0. I said 2-0 against Leicester. Hopefully in this game, we can keep a clean sheet. We've got enough in attack. We saw the positives in the second half of yesterday's game. And we should be beating Leicester. And hopefully within 90 minutes rather than going to extra time. Nick, you're going to the game with Patrick. How do you see this one happening? Remember, Patrick doesn't really see Palace winning recently, so keep that in mind.
Well, looking at QPR's results this season so far, they've been a bit mixed. I mean, a 2-1 away win at Luton's a good result, but getting beat by West Brom 3-1 perhaps isn't so much, and a 1-1 with Plymouth. And they beat Cambridge in the last round, didn't they? I think they'll be up for it. Oh, did you see their goal yesterday? The 2 injury time goals in the Sheffield Wednesday game, man. Barry Bannon with the screamer.
Yeah.
And then that melee in the penalty area. That was like just, look it up on YouTube, Sheffield Wednesday QPR. But yeah, I think we'll win 2-0 as well.
2-0 as well. Patrick, are you going to finally see Palace win after how many years? God knows. Since you've been watching them live in a competitive game.
They're going to win emphatically. I'm going for a 4-0 win.
Whoa.
2 goals by Nketiah and 2 by Mateta.
It sounded realistic until you said Mateta in the score sheet. I'm joking.
You can bait me all you want, my friend, but right now, One man's playing quite well. The other one's hasn't got a first goal for Palace yet. But that'll change on Tuesday. Trust me. He'll
I'm
score on
joking.
Tuesday.
What you'll enjoy, Patrick, is you'll be going to an away game where it's proper fans who aren't plastics.
With you.
But
I mean, the opposition fans aren't plastic. You've got no glory in QPR fans, to be honest, have you?
Question:
well, there's no glory to really hunt.
Can
nowadays,
you wear colours there? I know some places you don't wear colours. Is it okay to wear your colours?
Yeah, you'll be all right there.
You can wear your away colours whatever game you go to nowadays.
Yeah.
Football
That's
changed
not necessarily
massively.
true. I wouldn't do it to
Yeah.
Millwall.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're all right. You are right. They're still stuck in the dark ages. But yeah, you'll see some plastic QPR fans. Well, not QPR fans. You might see a bit of plastic because apparently it's not sold out. So you might see a bit of plastic seats if they moved on to plastic.
They used to have a plastic pitch.
Yeah,
that is right. One of the first ones. That's exactly right.
Yeah, them and Luton. Funnily enough.
Road. Yeah.
Well, that's Nick giving us the insights from QPR's pitch in the 1920s. He was there to witness the
1980s. In fact, I can remember a Palace player who went on to play for Palace having a photo. There was a picture of him in shoot, Terry Fenwick hoovering the Loftus Road pitch. And another one, my friend Jolly Jenkins, QPR fan. I used to go to QPR sometimes with him when they were in the first division. Palace were in the second. And I saw Notts County playing the first division at Loftus Road, and Rashid Harkook was playing for Notts County.
Rash the Bash.
Yeah, and I remember thinking I've seen him so many times.
I saw him Division 3 for Palace. Division 4 maybe for Palace, actually.
Yeah, no, 3 it was.
Yeah, 3.
Times have changed. Times have changed. And here comes Premier League Crystal Palace versus Championship QPR. Away from home, but we must win, and hopefully it doesn't go to penalties. But if you have enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and most importantly, let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you to Nick and Patrick. Let's see what happens. But until next time, up the Palace.